Hello again, my name is Ernest Minu. Let's settle for the details. Now, Parliament will be considering for approval the report from the Appointments Committee on the vetting of 4 Supreme Court Justice nominees. Last week, Professor Henrietta Mensah-Bonsu, Yoni Kulendi, Jackson Honyenuga, and Ibrahim Tanko appeared before Parliament Appointments Committee to be quizzed for the position of a Supreme Court judge. The committee is presenting its report to the plenary this morning for consideration. My colleague Joseph Opoku-Gatlo, who is with us in Parliament, joins us on the line. Joseph, tell us more about today's sitting. Hello, Joseph, if you can hear me, tell us more about today's sitting. We know that the report of the Appointments Committee will be considered by the plenary. The 4 nominees who were before them last week were quizzed for the position of Supreme Court justices. Tell us about what to expect later this morning.
So let's begin with what's happening here in Parliament at the moment. There is the screening of various members of Parliament happening. MPs have come in here for their samples to be taken in order for them to be tested for COVID-19. This was a directive that the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay, gave yesterday, that today from 9 a.m. We should have various MPs turn up here in order to undergo the necessary testing processes as far as COVID-19 is concerned. Let me get a quick reaction from some of the MPs who've been going through the processes. Patrick Yabuama is the MP for Kaikui Central. He's joining us live. How did the process go for you?
Thank you very much. Good morning, and good morning to our viewers and my constituents. It's been very smooth. It's been very well organized. They've been very professional. I didn't spend more than 2 minutes undergoing the process, and I think it's a call in the right direction. This is a novel situation, and it calls for all the seriousness that it requires from the leadership of the House, where the Speaker sits. So we are complying with the Speaker's directive, and we are going to ensure that we all undergo this test to assist the government and the health institution to ascertain the status of everybody within this serious arm of government so that we undergo our work in the chamber and within the precincts of Parliament with all the peace and the soundness of mind that it requires.
So now that a sample has been taken, I've been asking Dr. Prince Pambo a few questions. He's the medical director here in Parliament on what the processes look like. He indicates that its likely results will be back in about 48 hours, and Noguchi, which is doing the test, will liaise with you, the MPs, directly. Feeling apprehensive, worried, even as we all await the outcome of the result?
Not at all, because once you know your status, the medical teams and the experts will take you through whatever it takes for you to recover. So you shouldn't be apprehensive, because once you know your status, you are better off rather than working and feeling good and not knowing what has happened to you. So it's good. Once there shouldn't be any apprehension. You must be comfortable, whether you test positive or negative. It's good, because the system will take care of you. Go into isolation, they treat you, and I think it's very good.
We are grateful you join us. The Honorable Patrick Yabuama is the MP for Kaikui Central. He just underwent, he just did undergo the test as far as his COVID-19 status is concerned. A number of MPs have actually been showing up here in order to go through the process with their samples being taken, and then we've seen them then walking off. I've been gathering some details on the entire process from the officials who are leading this. In fact, let me get a quick comment from the official who is actually leading this. He's the medical director here in Parliament. His name is Dr. Prince Pambo. He is joining us in a bit for a quick conversation as we gather some additional details on it. He's actually addressing the press right here with details on the processes as far as this testing is concerned. Dr. Pambo is joining us live right now as far as the various testing processes are concerned. So just to give us a sense, when the MPs and the staff come around here, what exactly happens?
Simply go through the registration process. From the registration process, you go and your sample is picked, and then that's it.
Okay. When you say sample is picked, what exactly do they take from the individuals?
They take a swab from your throat, that's all.
And roughly how many minutes does the process take?
The whole process takes less than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
And once this is done, then what happens next after the samples are taken?
Nothing happens next. When your results are ready, Noguchi communicates that to the appropriate persons.
Okay, so the results will not come back directly to Parliament.
It has nothing to do with the results. It's an individual thing when it comes to results.
How do you envisage all of this would actually help with the processes as far as helping to contain COVID-19 and keeping members of Parliament and staff here in Parliament safe?
I think one of the key things to winning the COVID-19 battle is to test and test a lot more. So we are chasing the disease condition. Okay, so we chase it, we catch it, and we treat. That's all.
Do you get the sense that we have a situation of the members of Parliament and all cooperating with the processes in order to actually...
As you can see, then several of them have already come and tested, and a lot more will come through.
Just to give us a sense, what does the numbers look like? You know, about how many people are you expecting will eventually go through the processes as far as the testing is concerned?
In Parliament, we have 275 MPs, and we have probably about another 400 staff. So yes, we're probably looking at everybody coming through to test.
In terms of the necessary guidance and counseling and the processes to ensure that even if people test positive here in the House, there's no panic and they're adequately treated. How is the medical office here in Parliament helping with any process like that?
You mean somebody testing positive?
Once the results are done and it happens that someone tends to test positive.
There's a national COVID management team, those who do case management, those who do surveillance and all. So yes, we are doing the testing. I don't even know who gets treated and who doesn't get treated at the end of the day. So that is normally between the testing laboratories and the national COVID management team. And I think as a country we are doing well. So if anybody is picked, the normal protocols will just be triggered and they will go through it and that will be fine.
Many thanks for joining us, Dr. Prince Pambo. He is the medical director right here in Parliament House, giving us details of this process to get all MPs tested for COVID-19 and to ensure that the MPs are safe even as they go about their duties. Ernest, back to you.
Yes, Joseph, I don't know if you get a sense this will be dealt with expeditiously because of the group of people we are dealing with by Noguchi.
From the indication that we're getting, this is actually a process that once the samples are taken, the MPs will wait for a period of 48 hours. That's the expectation of the medical team here in Parliament, that over a maximum duration of 48 hours, the results would have been ready so that if any counseling processes have to begin, if any management issues have to kick in, then it gets on from there. So they are hoping for more like a quick turn as far as the results are concerned. But for now, all that is being done here is that the samples are being taken and all of it will be conveyed to the Noguchi Memorial Institute. And it's there that the necessary processing and the testing particularly will actually happen.
Just a day's event, and are we just looking at MPs or the entire parliamentary service?
So the indication is that it's actually just for today, at least for now, from the directive that we gather came from the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Michael Quay. Now, they are looking at both members of Parliament and staff here in Parliament House. So not just the MPs, the officials who work with the MPs right from the Job 600 building where the offices of the members of Parliament are located, and all the others who undertake the activities here in Parliament will all be tested. And from what we are told, conscious effort is actually being taken to gather the data and the details of the individuals, including their names, their contact details, where they can be found even after the testing is done, so that if any tracing of any sort becomes necessary beyond today, that the samples are being picked for the testing to be done, then that can continue.
Got to the substantive issue. We know that last week 4 nominees for the Supreme Court were before the Appointments Committee. We had Justice Honyanuga, we also had Justice Tanko. There was Yoni Kulendi and Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu appear before the committee to be vetted. I do understand that the report by the committee is ready and will be presented to the plenary today. What more can you tell us on that?
Kojo, so the committee's report is actually done and has been laid on the floor of Parliament. That was yesterday. What didn't happen was a debate on it for the necessary approval. Now we gather that's something that will be happening today, and from the indication that we're getting, at the level of the minority in Parliament, they're backing approval for Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, they're backing approval for Yoni Kulendi, and they're backing approval for Justice Amadou Tanko. But when it comes to Justice Clement Honyanuga, the minority has given the indication that they would fiercely resist the efforts to get him approved because they think he's a political figure and doesn't deserve to sit on the bench as far as the highest court of the land is concerned. What that means is that it's likely to be a case of we having a very heated debate on Justice Clement Honyanuga. At the level of the Appointment Committee, actually, 10 majority MPs voted for his approval, 7 voted against it, and so it's coming to Parliament with reference to the report as a decision taken not by consensus but by majority decision, and the minority carry on the debate seeking to get his approval blocked, and we are likely to see more of a head count in the end, even as the processes go ahead to get him approved. But again, the expectation is that the majority, just as they use their numbers at the level of the Appointments Committee, will use their numbers on the floor of Parliament itself to get him approved.
Now, beyond the approval of the nominees for today, what else should we expect in Parliament, Joseph?
That's mainly the main agenda that's on the table. The third item is the pre-education tertiary, the pre-tertiary education bill, which is something that the House has been dealing with for some time now, as well as the Education Regulatory Bill 2018. These are all documents that the House has been looking at for some weeks now, and today as well they'll continue with the processes in order to get the amendments that need to be done to the document done as the processes proceed. We know they returned from their break just yesterday, and those are the 2 main issues that they will deal with today, well apart from having to approve the nominees to the Supreme Court.
Joseph, thank you very much for bringing us update from Parliament. We'll return to you once the session begins on the debate for the nominees and a lot more of the issues that will happen today on the floor. You had our parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gatto. Let's tell you more on the appointment of the Supreme Court nominees. Left to me alone, Justice Jackson Honyanuga should not be approved as a Supreme Court judge. These are the words of an experienced lawyer and MP, Inusaf Hussaini, who also sits on Parliament's Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. Speaking on the AM show, Mr. Hussaini said the Supreme Court nominee failed to acquit himself equitably to be of high moral integrity when he appeared before the Appointments Committee last week. He spoke with Roland Walker on the AM show.
A judge, when you are made a judge, and those listening, High Court judges and Court of Appeal judges, you are on the way to the Supreme Court. Your integrity and moral character must be matters that you must protect with your own life. Because you see, even those, I've been a legal practitioner, even those who have been nominated to the Supreme Court, go to the bar and listen. Just go to the bar.
So if you were the oversight authority, you wouldn't have approved him?
This is Funaga. Yes. Why? Why will I approve him? Even today, if I'm given an opportunity to talk in Parliament, I will advocate for us not to approve him.
Justice
Honyanuga. Not that I don't think that he's a good judge, but I think that he failed in the litmus test.
Now, though Justice Honyanuga apologized for the statement he made praising President Akufo-Addo as a traditional ruler, Mr. Hussaini insists that the incident should not have happened in the first place because of his standing on the bench.
No, you ought not. You have now come to realize that you ought.
And you are making this in reference to his comments before?
Before.
What was wrong with the comment?
Everything was wrong with the comment.
Oh, he's a traditional.
No. Everything was
traditional ruler.
In fact, when
that capacity as a traditional ruler,
it's wrong.
Because of his capacity in the other.
No, even his capacity as a traditional ruler is wrong. He was a dabbling in politics. There's a mandatory prohibition against chiefs.
But they do it all the time.
But that's impunity.
Why?
You want to encourage impunity?
Why should justice?
You want to encourage impunity? The fact that they do it and do it with impunity means we should let it go. And so if a traditional leader is not of the stature of Justice Onoga and does that, you can excuse that traditional leader. But if Justice Onoga, who is a traditional leader, does that, he's presumed to know the law. You understand? So even traditionally, it's wrong. And then judicial officer, you are supposed to administer justice without fear nor favor. And then when you appear before a vetting committee, they put questions to you. And then you answer them with a tinge of dishonesty. It goes to the Article 1284.
It depends on who is
no, but if they ask
assessing.
If they ask you
what
who wrote the statement
responses.
for you, if they ask you who wrote the statement for you, and you say you can't remember.
But he can't remember.
Away from Parliament and the courts, tension is mounting at Laplai community at Bongase in the Banda district of the Boni region after over 100 residents were displaced following an eviction exercise allegedly conducted by the Buipa authority. Now, according to the chief of the community and residents, armed security personnel demolished and set their homes on fire, leading to loss of money and property. Precious Semevo has more from Bongase.
Eba ese yentu no mu ye adwuma bi wa ha nto mu hia anwurafo bia onsuo na no mu nya abuta mu badwiri kura mu nya abuta me yi aduane ene ye sika odem ene ye nam no mu se da mu ma ye kwan.
That were some affected persons recounting their loss. They are fish farmers at Lapla at Bongase who derived their livelihood from the river Bui Power Authority generates electricity from. But on Monday morning, they helplessly watched about 12 shelters built within a cashew plantation near the bank of the river destroyed with a bulldozer, their personal belongings and thousands of Ghana cedis set on fire, rendering the over 100 people, including women and children, homeless. Peter DONGI is the assemblyman for the area.
We came and witnessed what was happening here. We met one of the BPA officials, who is Mr. Eric, who is the land administrator. With some of the staff in the car, they didn't step down. We asked them, what is happening here? What have you done to the people? We never see some before. Look at this uncompleted project there. They said they are coming to do a restaurant here, being a ultra-modern beach here, and for that matter, they don't want to find anyone living around here. And we said, fine, maybe you are coming to develop here, pair your plan or your development plan. If that being the case, point to us where exactly you are relocating these people, and they will never move again.
Banda DCA, Mary Connie, at a meeting with the community said she has no idea about the exercise.
Exercise here, I see no idea. I said, dissect chairperson. Say me see me ni moi, na me boa. And to say I'm a be who near see. MP
for Banda, Ahmed Ibrahim, suspects political machinations, adding he will, in the interim, evacuate them to a safe place.
Well, thousands of Ghana cities has been destroyed, and it's unfortunate that has happened. Families have been displaced. Life has been affected negatively. Final year students, textbooks, and iPads, including laptops. More so as political underpinnings are being lamented on by the chiefs and opinion leaders of this place, that they are being asked to leave this place simply because they are Votarians. And that is a source of worry to me, and that's why I'm not a happy person as you see me. I will report this to the CEO and I will engage them. It is not all sayings or all utterances that should come out from the mouth of the workers, and it doesn't augur well for us living as a people.
Both the Assemblyman and Chief of Bongase, Nanahaya Bosum II, said they will not allow any official of Bui Power Authority into the town until an amicable solution is found.
The youth and every entire citizen of Bongase is very angry toward BPA. We also block the view for BPA, not for them not to allow any of their trust to pass through the community.
Until then, the affected persons are appealing to the government to come to their aid.
By Buddham, assassin, Bongas, so just for
For Joy News, Precious Semevo, Bongase, Banda District.
Now, the new TEMA motorway interchange was open to traffic last week Saturday. Some motorists who use the stretch say it has reduced the bumper-to-bumper traffic situation on that stretch. Maxwell Adobat takes us on a tour of the interchange.
The TEMA motorway roundabout interchange was open to traffic on Saturday. It is a $57 million grant from the Japanese government through its agency JICA. A lot of people we've been speaking to here have been talking about how the interchange here has actually reduced the bumper-to-bumper traffic that they usually see even on weekends. But what we're doing here today on Joy News is to take you on a tour of the new interchange, basically showing you what to look out for on this particular interchange. Mind you, you just have to pay attention to the traffic signals. Usually you see them with a blue background and an arrow directing you on where to go. If you follow the traffic signals and the road markings, you shouldn't get missing or you shouldn't get lost on the interchange. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. Join us as we take you on that tour here on Joy News. Now we are coming all the way from the Central Business District, Accra and its environs, and we are using the interchange. So if you're coming from Accra and you are done crossing the you're done crossing the toll booths and you're fixing this section of the road, what you have to do is you just focus on the blue board very close to the overhead bridge at the top there. Just focus on the road markings on that blue board there, on that traffic signal there. It gives you an indication of which side of the road you should use. So now if you're going to Aflau, all you have to do is to use the underpass. If you're going to the Tema Harbor or Akosombo, you would have to use the other side of the road so you can see slowly. So you can see the direction heading to the other side of the road. That has been temporarily closed to traffic. So all you have to do is to focus on the blue board. So if you're going to Tema Harbor or Akosombo, you use the right-hand side of the road, and you can see the road markings there indicating that. Make sure you follow the big blue board with the arrows pointing to where you're going. If you follow that, you're good. So this is the underpass. So we're going to use the underpass tunnel. The underpass tunnel. And remember, all these vehicles are heading towards Aflau. So this is the underpass. This is the underpass tunnel. So we just finished using the underpass tunnel. So this is now heading towards Aflau and its environs. We are heading to the Central Business District now. We are going to Accra now. On our right-hand side is the road that links to Akosombo and then Ashaiman and its environs. So if you're going to Akosombo, the TEMA Harbour, you use the other side of the road. But if you're going to Accra, you go straight and then use the underpass tunnel. This is going to TEMA Harbour, and then the other section of the road is going to Akosombo. And as you can see, there are wire mesh all over. They don't want people to be jumping across the street. But we are heading to Accra right now, to the Central Business District right now, and we're going to use the underpass. So same way, if you're going to Aflao, Mon, Pram and its environs, you do not have to use the overhead bridge. You use the underpass tunnel. You use the underpass and then you use the tunnel. If you're coming from Mon, Pram and its environs and you're heading to Accra, you're heading to the Central Business District, you still use the underpass and you're going to use the tunnel. All you have to do is to focus on the blue big board attached to the overhead bridge, and it give you an indication. It has a signal. It will direct you to where you're going. I mean, construction is almost done, but what we realized was that they were still trying to beautify the median. You can see they've done the grassing for the sides of the interchange. We are at the new third-tier interchange. Here are the TEMA motorway roundabout. On a usual Tuesday morning like this, what you would find would be bumper-to-bumper traffic on this stretch, usually for vehicles going to the Central Business District, to Asaiman, to Akosombo, and other parts of the country. But that bumper-to-bumper traffic is non-existent today. A lot of the people we've been speaking to here have been attesting to the fact about how there is the traffic flow today.
Traffic here is very serious, but now it's okay.
Okay.
Let me bring you some good news. After weeks of grueling pain inflicted on him by his own father for bedwetting, 3-year-old Junior is now out of the hospital. The little boy, whose ordeal sparked public outrage, underwent treatment at the Menchia Government Hospital for 3 weeks for severe wounds. Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko spent time with him just before he was discharged and filed this report.
Was allegedly whipped with a belt and cable wire. His crime, according to father, 25-year-old Ebenezer Osebunsu's account to the police, the child wet his bed and damaged his phone. Junior was saved by his mother, who sought the help of the Bokrom police before being admitted at a hospital. His story raised public outcry. Junior now manages at least to limp on one leg with confidence as he strikes a hearty chat, though the wounds are not completely healed. Local NGO Mokasa Women's Foundation presented 1,000 cedis cash, while Temo donated diapers to Junior's mom, Barbara.
Junior pomidin de sesia de nyamiadom eye na chino ne nine na.
Junior is now well, she says. It's left with the scars. We've been discharged and we are going home, but we'll be coming here periodically to dress his wounds. We are grateful to everyone for your help and support, not forgetting Joy News and the multimedia group.
Joy for multimedia for
Junior's father, who was granted bail last week, is yet to meet the bail requirements. He is due back in court on Thursday.
As you can see, little Junior is getting his life back, and the color is coming back onto his face again. He's suddenly become my friend, and we're taking driving lessons together. I must say that he has gone through a lot. If you see the scars on him,
and he's still trying to be confident again. It will take some time for him to heal inwardly and emotionally. But gradually, he's getting a life back. Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaridonko.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Poultry farmers are predicting a further decline in economic activity if the Bank of Ghana fails to find ways to make funds more easily available to them. Ashanti Region branch of the Poultry Farmers Association laments the Bank of Ghana's policies to collateralize facilities to farmers is a disincentive. Chairman Boris Bedu warns the bank at least to consider the impact of COVID-19 to make such loans to farmers on softer terms. He tells Joy News' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin there is no better time for the local industry to flourish than now.
Outside, they are taking maximum 3%, 4%, maximum. Even America, some are taking even 0.5, 1%, 2%, 3%. And they are able to produce chicken, yeah, and to ship down to this country. Because how is it possible for somebody to produce in this country, ship down into your country, and it's more cheaper than yours? How is it possible? That tells you the kind of interest rate he's enjoying. We know the problems in our country, and we cannot straightly, compare ourselves to that people outside. But at least the Bank of Ghana reference rate, which is now because of COVID-19 has sunk down to what, 14 point something. Yeah, we are still pleading with the government. Can we have a chance? We want to support. Now, there is no other means. The president said this is the time that we have to what? Revive all the industries in Ghana and to encourage local production. But who is to produce it? Am I expecting the president to come and produce the chicken for us? No, it is my responsibility.
Mr. Bedu says amid challenges, COVID-19 provides opportunity for local industries to show the best they can offer. He observes importers can no longer supply the needs of the country as before.
Then we are going to have our economy declining. Then we are going to have a terrible situation. These companies abroad who are supposed to ship chicken and rice to us are not able to ship to us. The volumes that we're importing will not be happening anymore because they're also thinking of themselves. Are you getting my point? So what happens? We have to now take care of ourselves. So, and I learned most countries will start banning, exports into other countries very, very soon. Look at what is happening in the US. Look at what is happening in Italy. Look at what is happening in other countries. If such things continue to happen, what do you think will happen? If you're not getting more rice in your country, if you're not getting more chicken in your country, what will happen?
Well, meanwhile, many small, micro and medium enterprises have high expectations that the 600 million cedi COVID-19 stimulus package launched yesterday will revive their businesses. As the president unveiled the fund, Joy Business engaged some of them who welcomed the idea. Here's Chief Executive of GIDEON, a footwear manufacturer in Accra, GIDEON DZENDZO.
It's a laudable initiative, and with 3 weeks of almost no sale, I think this is going to do us good. And looking at the current interest rate that the banks offers, I think that this 5% is really going to do us good. Because if you go to your local bank, it's around above 28%. And I think 5% for a 1 year moratorium and payment of 2 to 3 years, I think is the best that we can get as an SME.
But is the money enough? When you look at the number of SMEs in Ghana, is this adequate to help alleviate, like they name it, COVID-19 alleviation program? Is it enough to alleviate the kind of negative impact that COVID-19 has brought to our economy?
They call it an IDASO fund, and I think that it will bring some sense of hope. But the unfortunate thing is that I think that if you do your normal calculation, you might think that you are getting just 3,000 cedis, and even with that, not so many people will get, because they are trying to share 600 million for 200,000 SMEs. So just your make calculation, you know that it's around 3,000. But I hope the government could do more. But maybe this is just a start, and we just pray that they'll be able to secure a lot more funding so that they could support SMEs like ours.
But how severely has the COVID-19 affected business?
On the whole, I think when you speak with other people, my competitors and everything, they tell you how severe it's been even with us, because we've done no sale for like close to a month. And we also had to pay our workers in full, with the hope that government will support us. And that was some of the reasons why we paid our workers in full. And there's drastic reduction in sale, because most of the shoes that will be bought by people for weddings and for corporate work, now there are no more weddings, more like people also don't go to work, and there's a lot of teleworking, and so people don't really have the urgent need for shoes. And so definitely it's been affected. It's really affected us, and we hope that in the coming days we will be able to recover.
That's your business update for now. Sports is up next.